Hey guys, how's it going? Richard here from Alien Bros, and today I have a couple of news topics I'd like to discuss with you guys that I think you guys will find rather interesting. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into those topics right now. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to discuss with you guys is the new planet that was recently discovered by astronomers, which they believe is the most Earth-like planet they have found so far, and in terms of distance, it's relatively close to us, 11 light years to be exact, which of course is a ridiculous distance, and that would take a ridiculous amount of time to travel, but in terms of how large the universe is as a whole, it is really just a stone's throw away. The planet is called Ross 128b, and astronomers seem to think that this planet should be the first place that we look to find alien life. A team working with ESO's High Accuracy Radio Velocity Planet Searcher, or HARPS for short, at the La Sella Observatory in Chile has found that red dwarf star Ross 128 is orbited by a low-mass exoplanet every 9.9 days. This Earth-sized world is expected to be temperate, with a surface temperature that may also be close to that of Earth. Ross 128 is the quietest nearby star to host such a temperate exoplanet. Unlike other close rocky planets, such as those orbiting TRAPPIST-1 and Proxima Centauri, Ross 128b is set apart, because its host star doesn't regularly blast it with potentially sterilizing flares of radiation. An international team of astronomers on Wednesday published a paper, linked to which I'll leave down in the description, detailing the planet's discovery in the Journal of Astronomy and Astrophysics. Like Proxima b and the TRAPPIST-1 planets, Ross 128b's host star is an M dwarf. This common class of star is smaller and redder than our Sun, and its relative dimness and size make it a favored target for astronomers looking for exoplanets. That's because orbiting worlds are generally easier to spot around smaller, dimmer stars. The problem with M dwarfs is that many, such as TRAPPIST-1 and Proxima Centauri, have a nasty habit of sending out big flares that could erode the atmospheres of orbiting planets. This bathes those surfaces in radiation that makes it difficult for life as we know it to emerge or survive. Ross 128, on the other hand, is what's known as a quiet M dwarf, meaning it doesn't seem to be shooting off the killer flares of radiation seen from other stars like it. Ross 128b is the second closest known exo-Earth after Proxima Centauri b, which is just over 4 light years in distance, and it's the closest temperate planet known around a quiet star. Interestingly, Ross 128 was also the subject of a false positive earlier this year. Astronomers picked up weird radio signals from the direction of the star, but they turned out to be more likely coming from man-made satellites around Earth. The astronomers studying Ross 128b hope that the next generation of telescopes set to come online in a few years can determine what kind of atmosphere Ross 128b has and check for signs of life, including the presence of oxygen. Humanity is also set to become even closer to Ross 128b in the long run, literally. That's because the system is actually moving toward us and will supplant Proxima Centauri to become our nearest neighbor in just 79,000 years. While it sounds like a long time, it's actually a blink in cosmic terms, giving plenty of time to get our warp drive technology dialed in. This news on its own is pretty incredible, although there is some other news that I want to tell you about that makes me wonder if there is more to this than we're being told. Of course, we're all well aware of NASA's history of covering up anything possibly alien related, so this next piece of news will likely raise even more suspicions and maybe even confirm a lot of theories and beliefs we've had about NASA and other space organizations. The next piece of news is that NASA experts have came out and stated on the record we will find alien life within 20 years, and NASA has stated their plans for the future to find these aliens. Now, I'm sure I don't need to tell you that NASA has known about and been censoring any and everything alien for as long as we've had the ability to travel outside of our planet's atmosphere. However, for those of you that are new to this subject and aren't aware of NASA's cover-ups, here's a few examples. There are photos of the moon, 2 of which I just showed you now, which NASA obviously was trying to censor, along with photos of anomalous structures that appeared on Mars and out in space and a few other planets that NASA failed to censor. There are a bunch of pictures taken by the Mars rover of what is obviously fungi on Mars, which NASA has actually been sued over by a doctor named Ron Joseph, along with other photos of Mars and of space where there was obviously censorship going on. I mean, we've seen structures floating out in space by other stars and planets. We've seen what has to be alien spaceships. We've seen them make maneuvers on the ISS live feed that no particle of ice, as they would like to claim it is, could ever do. It's completely impossible. They don't do U-turns and zigzags and everything like that. It just doesn't happen with an ice particle. Then we have this photo that was taken by the Mars rover of what appears to be a humanoid, alien human type figure running across the Mars surface, apparently maybe going back to hide under a cave. I don't know, maybe to get out of the radiation on the top of the planet, but it looks like they're wearing greenish kind of desert robes, and they're obviously there. That's obviously a person. No rock forms like that. It's like they think we're so stupid that we will believe anything they say, no matter how obvious it is that they're hiding something, but obviously that isn't the case, because we don't believe everything they say, because we're not a bunch of idiots like they'd like to believe. Now, the reason NASA seems to think that we will suddenly find alien life in the next 20 years is that we're using the same climate models that we used to project the 21st century climate change on Earth, to do simulations of specific exoplanets that have been discovered and hypothetical ones. There are many factors that contribute to a planet's potential habitability, including proximity to its star. This dictates whether the planet has the right conditions to sustain liquid water. If it's too close or too far, the surface could be dry and barren, or completely frozen. And from what's known about life on Earth, water is key. Whether it's a desert or Antarctica, or the deepest parts of the ocean, or the deepest parts of the Earth's crust that we've explored, as long as there's a tiny speck of liquid water, there's life. NASA explains in a new video how to find a living planet, and because of that, it's been central to NASA's search for habitable environments elsewhere. It's why scientists get excited about water spewing up from the icy moons of Europa and Enceladus in our outer solar system. Not only could they have water, they could have global oceans just like the ones we have here on Earth. The detection of water completely changed scientists' opinion on the two icy moons, explains research scientist Morgan Cable of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. We thought Enceladus was just boring and cold until the Cassini mission discovered a liquid water subsurface ocean, said Cable. In particular, they're looking for environments that contain both oxygen and methane. When these two gases are found in the same atmosphere, you've got something special, says the space agency. There are ways to build up oxygen and methane in a planetary atmosphere, but the only way you could have both in the same atmosphere at the same time is if you produce them both super rapidly, said Sean DeMogul Goldman of NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. Now here's my theory on this. I think that NASA has known about aliens and have been in contact with them since the Roswell incident. They do a lot of secret space testing programs at Area 51, so they are obviously able to access black projects, and after all, they are a sector of our government. There is a lot of footage of UFOs in space flying around near the ISS, and every time one of those UFOs shows up, NASA immediately cuts the live feed, and every time they do, they tell us, oh, all you guys saw was an ice crystal. And they refuse to recognize that these crafts have ridiculously advanced moving capabilities that even most of our own space equipment in airplanes can't even pull off today. Well, let me tell you that you don't need to be an aeronautical engineer to know that ice crystals don't make sudden turns on a dime and sometimes even make zigzag patterns before doing U-turns and flying off into space at a breakneck speed. The cover-up here is obvious, as I'm sure many of you are already well aware of. Now, because of this, my theory is that NASA is drip-feeding us information and giving us clues, essentially mentally prepping us for the day that they say they've found aliens. They will have known about them the entire time, and they will certainly lie about when they claim to have found them and made contact for the first time. However, they will finally break the silence. From there, I have no idea what will happen. Hopefully it will end well for us, but you never know, and as crooked as our government is sometimes, there is no safe bet. What do you guys think will happen when they finally reveal alien life? Do you guys think they're hiding the truth about aliens? Let us know what you guys think down in the comments, get a discussion going. The only way we can outsmart them is if we communicate with each other and work together. So get in those comments, discuss your theories, debate, whatever you want to do. Just get into the situation, get involved, and help find the answers to this question and seek the truth from our government. Now, I have one last thing I want to share with you guys today, and this is a piece of information that you'll probably find either really cool or really hilarious, or both. First though, let me quote a question from Fox News website regarding a topic I'm about to tell you, and that is this question: if aliens were to make contact with us right now, are we ready to respond, and if so, how will we respond? Now, I know the majority of you are probably rolling your eyes saying, well, we're already in contact with aliens. Obviously the two major governments, i.e. the US and Russia, have already responded to aliens. What would be the purpose of such a redundant question like this? And for those of you that are new to the subject, maybe you haven't had the chance to see and look through the mountains of evidence saying that we've been in contact with aliens for about 6 decades now. You may be new to the subject and thinking that's a great question and one we will have to address, and indeed, you'd be right. In fact, both sides would be right. What makes me say that, you're wondering? Well, that's also a good question, and I believe to make the question of how we would respond make sense, we need to alter it to how would the general public as a whole respond. Well, the most likely answer is that a part of society would graciously meet our newfound cosmic neighbors, and the other part would either run in fear or attempt to fight them and start an interstellar war. An option I really don't see ending well for us. And I'm sure you guys already answered that question in your heads before I even had a chance to do so. And since you knew that answer, I have one more question for you, especially to the non-believers that believe the government and thinks they are truly not hiding anything and are not in contact with extraterrestrials. If part of society were to flip out upon meeting aliens for the first time and try to kill them in fear of their lives, all thanks to Hollywood and the media molding their minds to make them believe that ETs are going to try to kill us all upon first contact, then why would any sensible government want us to know about these aliens before we were ready? Why would they tell us and risk the extinction of the human race? To those who think everything the government does behind our backs is of an evil nature, I'm not saying you're wrong. In fact, 99% of the time, you're probably right. But in the case of allowing our society to contact ETs, a society that lives their lives by the psychological need for sex and aggression, would allowing such a society to meet an advanced race that we have an irrational fear of that could destroy us all in a matter of seconds, well, is that really such a smart idea? Therefore, it begs the question, is the government actually protecting us? Now you're probably wondering and saying to yourself, that's great and all, but why are you telling us this to begin with? Well, my friends, I'll tell you why. Scientists at the SETI Institute, and for those of you who don't know what SETI stands for, it's the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, has sent a secret radio message out into space. Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence International, or METI, sent an encoded message into space using radio waves known as sonar calling GJ273b, which the organization's president and founder Doug Vakoch believes we could be received by intelligent life. The message is distinctive because it's designed with extraterrestrial SETI scientists in mind. We've sent a sort of signal that we want to receive here on Earth. METI's purpose, along with the well-known Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, SETI, has a number of missions, including understanding and communicating the societal impact and relevance of searching for life beyond Earth, even before detection of extraterrestrial life. It also conducts programs to foster increased awareness of the challenges facing our civilization's longevity, among other directives. The San Francisco-based METI sent its message toward the red dwarf star GJ273, also known as Lewitton Star, 12 light-years away from Earth. The message was sent in October from the ASCOT transmitter in Tromsø, Norway, and included details such as basic math and science, as well as information on mankind's understanding of time. In a statement obtained by CNET, METI said it wanted to know if intelligent life understood the message, and then we can go from there. In a reply message, I would first want to note the extraterrestrials understood what we said in our first message. METI said in the statement, the easiest way to do this is to repeat our message, but in expanded form. We tell them that 1 + 1 = 2. They could let us know that they understand that 10 + 10 = 20. While some luminaries, such as Stephen Hawking, have warned against trying to contact extraterrestrials, Vakoch said contact is already being endorsed by many people. Everyone engaged in SETI is already endorsing transmissions to extraterrestrials through their actions. Vakoch said in an interview with Newsweek, if we detect a signal from aliens through a SETI program, there is no way to prevent a cacophony of responses from Earth. Vakoch added that once news of the initial contact has appeared, it would become almost impossible to stop anyone from trying to contact them on their own. Once the news gets out that we've detected extraterrestrials, Everyone with a transmitter can say whatever they want. Now, when can we expect a possible response? Any response would probably be forthcoming in at least 25 years due to the distance the message has to travel between Earth and GJ273b. The exoplanet was chosen because its visibility from Earth's northern hemisphere. Even if it's not the closest potentially inhabited exoplanet to Earth, the distinction belongs to Proxima b, which is just 4 light years away. 1 light year is approximately 5.88 trillion miles. Sonar calling GJ273b is not the first message we sent to space. The first was the Arecibo message sent in 1974. The Arecibo message is expected to take 25,000 light years to reach its target of the M13 star cluster. While hopeful of receiving a response, Vakach says we may never hear anything from another intelligent civilization. Practically speaking, if we get a signal from Newton's star, it will mean that the Milky Way is teeming with life. It's certainly possible, Vakach said. It seems more likely that we'll need to target not just one star, but hundreds, thousands, or even millions of stars before we get a reply back. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today, but stay tuned because there's a lot more coming and we will have it posted very soon. If you liked the video, then please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out, share it, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. It really helps us out. And the best part is it will let you guys stay up to date by sending you a message straight to your inbox every time we upload a new video, and you can stay on the up and up with all the latest alternative news. Thanks for your support, we love you guys, please don't forget to browse the channel. As always, I'm Richard from Alien Bros, and I'll see you guys again next video.